What's up, y'all? Um, I was having this conversation with my friend Shelly Bell. Shout out Shelly Bell of Black Girl Ventures. Um, Trying to make sure that Black startups, the Black women founders, get the resources that they need to run dope ass organizations. And in our conversation, she was talking about doing something, wanting to take an action, and then I was like, "Does it excite you?" And you know, she found that to be just the question she needed. And so it made me think in this moment two things. That early 19th century, early 20th century theologian Howard Thurman said, do not ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and do that, because what the world needs is for people who have come, the world needs is people who have come alive. And Black folks are alive in this moment. We alive. I feel like a thing comes up in me when I think about it. And I know that there are so many ways in which in this particular moment, we feel like I need to do something. I should do something. And what I just want to say is, do what makes you feel alive. There is nothing more potent in this moment, in this historical moment, than for you to be so profoundly and abundantly in your joy. I can't think of anything that is going to be more powerful toward catalyzing change in this moment than Black people in their joy. And we know this. And I've said this a billion times, and I ain't the only person who's ever said it. If we're not writing our joy, then we're not writing our survival, because it's our joy that actually transmutes the phenomenal pain that the world has attempted to embed in us. And it is our joy that has continuously expelled it from us and has allowed us to survive. And so one of my favorite activities, the first time I went to Australia, I was sitting in this fancy old building, drinking a cocktail overlooking the blue mountains. And I posed the question, what would I do, or what would we do if we weren't doing something related to fighting for our lives, I think is the question that I was having. And it was the first time that I had imagined, like, what would I do if I wasn't doing activist work, right? Or like if I wasn't trying to fight some oppression. And what became clear is that what I would do is plant flowers. I would garden. I would learn the names of birds. I would probably be an ornithologist. I think that's the term. And a gardener. I would be committed to bringing beauty into the world in a really specific way related to the natural world. And then I remembered, right, that actually, if that is what brings me joy, that finding ways to infuse that into my life is part of my survival and is part of my liberation, right? The liberation is an embodied experience. And if we can't figure out how to make it an embodied experience, then we can't figure out how to make it a political, social, economic, global experience, right? And so there is something that ignites you. And that whatever that is fuel for this particular historical moment. So put that in your car and go. Put that in your engine and be about that. And get out of the shoulds of what this moment is and get into what manifestation of my joy can I bring to bear on the world? Because Black people in their joy is one of the most transformative serums that we can give to this sick world. Secondly, to my folks who follow me, who run funds, who run philanthropic entities, who have access to resource and capital, guess what it is time for you to do? Get out of the damn way. Cut a check and move. So much of the nonprofit industrial complex is about the ways in which whiteness reaffirms its power by demanding things from people of color in exchange for money. Stop. Right now, if you want to be transformative in your organization, what you can do is find a Black-led organization, a Black queer-led organization, a Black queer trans disabled-led organization, and write them a check for a whole lot of money and tell them, do what you believe is going to help get your people free. That's it. It's time to cut checks and move. That's it. That is one of the most powerful things that you could do in this moment if you are connected to some sort of fund or resource, is to give the movement money and then get out of the way. Because guess what? Folks doing this work, organizationally doing this work on the ground, already know what to do. The problem is that they've never been given the resource and green light to just do it without having to write you 15 reports, without having to check off 15 different KAPs. And stop asking Black leaders to jump through circus hoops, which is really just about reaffirming the structure of whiteness in your organizations, and cut some checks. And then tell them, we trust your leadership. We trust your vision. We trust your community connections. And we trust you in this moment to know what to do to get Black folks to freedom. Here is our resource. Go do it. That's your assignment. Black people, your assignment is unadulterated joy. White people, your assignment is to cut some checks and get out of our way.